Hey everyone, so today I'm going to take a look at 5-6. This may be a homework that was or was not assigned to you. Only certain classes received this lesson. So only certain classes are going to go ahead and have this homework assigned to them. So I'm just going to go over it briefly in case you missed class or you just need help with working it out. So let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, we only have 3 questions. So for this homework specifically, in class, we did go over it. But you should go ahead, and we're going to try this out and see if this works. If I can do annotations on this. You should go ahead and review synthetic division, which is what we did before we started this lesson. We went ahead and went over some synthetic division things. I'm actually going to hit and not use that. I'm going to hit and use Prometheus. So I can pause it as needed. And I do want to point out again the certain things that you do have available in Desmos. If I turn this off. So here would be, it gives me an explanation, I lose a try. Here it gives me an example that they work out one that's very similar to it. And then trying to get out of it might be an issue. And they also have where in the book to find it, so you can open up the textbook on your computer and also messaging me. I will say to get a hold of me, it's a lot faster just to use Remind rather than trying to use the message system in here. It just would be faster to do it that way. So I'm going to take a look here for synthetic division. They've already done my multipliers, going to be 1. I'm going to write my exponents 2, -4. -4. I'm going to put a placeholder of 0 since I do not have a x term, and I'm going to hit and put 7. Sorry about that. I don't know how to get those things to go away, so we're just going to go with it. So in synthetic division, we go ahead and bring down that first term of 2, and then we go ahead and use our multiplier. So I'm going to multiply by 1, and when I do that, I get 2. And as a reminder, we are always adding here in this row. So -4 plus 2 is -2. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply that by 1, and I get -2. I add them, -4 plus -2 is -6. I'm going to multiply that by 1, and I'm going to get -6. I add those and I get -6 yet again. I multiply by 1 and I get -6 yet again. 7 minus 6 or plus -6 gets me 1. I don't know why it took me so long to come up with that, but I get 1. So then looking here, as a reminder, right here, this part is my quotient, and this tells me my coefficients for starting 1 degree less. So this would be x cubed, x squared, x, and my constant, and then this is my remainder. So my answer for my quotient would be 2x cubed minus 2x squared minus 6x minus 6 would be my quotient. My remainder is 1, which also happens to be P of 1 by our remainder theorem. So in class, we did go ahead and copy down the remainder theorem. So I'm gonna hide everything. So if I actually click on example for what we're talking about, if a polynomial P is divided, so this is actually the remainder theorem. It also says that the remainder is P of C. So if you plug in C, that's what we get. So for example, on they had -20 with remainder. It is also what happens when you plug 3 in. So we did go over that in class. And I do need my quotient is going to be 2x cubed minus 2x. So 2x cubed minus 2x squared. So do make sure we get out of the exponent minus 2x exponent squared. I believe minus 6x minus 6 minus 6x minus 6. So out of exponent minus 6x minus 6. My remainder was 1. Yes, it was 1. So I'm just going to put a 1 here for my remainder. And that is also what P of 1 is. Meaning if I was to plug 1 in, I would also get 1 back. So I'm going to hit check. We have it. So I'm going to hit continue. So now we're using the factor theorem. And our factor theorem, I'm going to hit an example here to go over it with you. Just to make sure we have, the factor theorem states that if my remainder is 0, then that x minus c is a factor. So my whole goal here is to see if I get 0 for my remainder. If I get 0 for my remainder, it's factor. If it's not 0, it's not a factor. So let's go ahead. So my multiplier is going to be 1. So this is referring to P of 1. Ooh, that is just ugly. Ugly. P of 1 equals whatever. So I'm going to plug a 1 in there. I get negative 1 since negative x to the fourth is negative. I'm going to put a 2, a 4, a 0, and a negative 4. We do have that placeholder for the x term. I'm going to bring down that negative 1. As a reminder, we are adding here. Negative 1 times 1 gets me negative 1. 2 minus 1 gets me 1. Times 1 gets me 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 times 1 is 5. 0 plus 5 is 5. 5 times 1 is 5. Negative 4 plus 5 is 1. So my remainder is not 0, so this is not a factor. So I'm going to say P of 1 equals 1, and it is not a factor. So I'm going to head and hit check. I'm going to hit try another and see if maybe they give me one that will be a factor. This is a good possibility. So let's go ahead and take a look here. If I did this one, I'm going to put a 2 for my multiplier. So I'm looking at P of 2. 2, negative 2, 0, negative 8. So let's see. 2, 4, negative 2, negative 4. Oh, there should be positive 2. I'm sorry, positive 4. Positive 4, 8, and this is 0. So this one is going to be a remainder of 0, which means it is a factor. So I'm going to put 2 equals 0. So it is a factor.
This is the end of advisory, the start of 6th period, and the beginning of passing period to a lunch.
All right, so this is one we went over in class, which actually showed you was a little easier than it looked. They're telling me I need to find out what my leading coefficient is going to be. They tell me what I'm dividing by and what my remainder is. So it is, we are working backwards. So since it's x minus 2, I know my multiplier is 2. I don't know what this first term is, but I do know I have a 3, a 5, and a 4. And I do know my remainder is negative 6. So this time we're just going to work backwards. I need to know 4 plus what equals negative 6. Well, for that to happen, I would need a minus 10. My multiplier is 2, so I need to divide by 2, and I'm going to get negative 5. I would have to add negative something to 5 to get negative 5. I would have to subtract 10. So then I'm going to again divide by 2, which would get me negative 5 yet again. 3 minus something gets me negative 5, so I'm going to subtract 8. I need to divide that by 2. 8 divided by 2, negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. And since we do bring down our first term, that would tell me K is -4. There is one other version of this problem they might give you. I'm going to see if they give it to us, and they do. So this is the one that was confusing in class. I told you if you want, just go ahead and try a different one. I am going to walk you through how to do it. So we have P of X plus X plus divided by X plus 3 gives us the quotient Q of X with a remainder of 1. If Q of 3 equals -4, find P of -3 and P of 3. So the fact that they tell us we're dividing by X plus 3 tells me this gives me X of -3. So I know -3 is 1 solely by remainder property or theorem. So P of X equals X minus R times Q of X plus my remainder. So if I already know P of -3, I want to find out -3. So that means for every X I see, I'm going to plug in 3. So this is going to be a -3 times Q plus, and my remainder is, and this was 1. And I'm going to head and make that. So all I did was everywhere that I had an X originally, so in this case, you can pretend that we had an X here. No, that's, sorry, I did that first part wrong. So we divide by a divisor. So in this case, that would have been, I'm going to head and write it. It would have been X plus 3 here. So this line would have been I would have a 3 here and a 3 here. So what I went ahead and did was plug in what my P of X was. And so now I just go ahead and simplify this. Let's just do this in green. So 3 plus 3 is going to be 6. They tell me Q of 3 is -4. And I'm going to add 1 for my remainder. So this gets me 6 times -4, which is -24, plus 1, which equals -23. So my answer is going to be 1 and -23. I really hope it is.
This is the beginning of a lunch.
Yay, it was. So that was really exciting to see that it does work out, because sometimes just not quite sure. Sometimes you doubt yourself, and that's fine. So it does end up being that's how it works. If you don't like this one and you prefer the other version of the question, do the other version. If I hit explanation, it does show you it. Since I've already answered, it doesn't say to lose it. And they do show you the walkthrough of how to do it. So that is an option that you have. And then you can see that they had, well, P of X is X plus 3 times Q of X plus 1. And you can just go ahead and go from there. But that is homework 5-6 for those that are assigned that homework assignment. And I will see you next time.